If you've been a hardcore fan of Funko for, let's say, 10 plus years like I have, you may like the topic of today's video. What's up, guys? I'm DK, and welcome to Reviewed by DK, a channel where I review stuff within the world of pop culture, collectibles, and food. And if you like any of those three, definitely consider subscribing to the channel and hit that like and comment on this specific video you are watching. But for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the news of Funko making their long-awaited return to Emerald City Comic-Con, which has created quite a bit of spark on social media. So the reason I wanted to do this video is because last week on the channel, I did this video of predicting WonderCon 2026 exclusives from Funko. Because since 2020, Funko has made exclusives for this convention besides 2024 where they went to C2E2 instead. So I was just under the assumption that they were going to be making their return to WonderCon this year in 2026. Until on my bus ride back home from the gym, I got a notification from a comment on that video along the lines of, "Is this the spring convention sticker?" And that had me scratching my head a little bit until a light bulb came off where I had to look at Disc Tracker's page where they posted this specific photo from an account by the name of Joy Fox Collectibles of a Frankie One Piece Rides that has a 2026 spring convention exclusive sticker. And that had a lot of people excited because if you've been around long enough, you remember that the spring convention sticker always meant Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive pops. And this doesn't refer to WonderCon because they have their own shared sticker known as the Wondrous Convention. Emerald City Comic-Con for the longest time was considered as one of the big three conventions where it started off the year with Emerald City Comic-Con, then we had San Diego Comic-Con in July, and then ending it off with New York Comic-Con in October for Funko. And there were a lot of comments down below on Disc Tracker's post saying Emerald City Comic-Con. I'ma cry, is Emerald City Comic-Con really back? No way, is ECCC back? And Emerald City Comic-Con each year is the convention that is, I guess, the underdog of conventions because it doesn't get enough credit for how many great exclusive pops it's had because New York Comic-Con and San Diego Comic-Con are such big conventions compared to Emerald City Comic-Con. However, if you've been a collector as long as I have, you do remember that there was kind of a downer when it comes to this convention, and that is the trend of it. The trend being that 80% of the pops usually were the color green because of that being the color of the convention overall. An example of one of the pops I have is the Army Man from Toy Story, which as you can see, the pop is all green. Another one we have here is the first Recyclops Dwight, which of course it relates to recycling. The colors of recycling are usually blue and green. So once again, it kind of fits that trend of being a green pop. So it made sense for Emerald City Comic-Con. And this was the latest Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive I had, which is the Kerrigan Dwight. Doesn't really relate to the whole green theme, but as you can see down below, as more proof, you can see in the sticker there, Spring Convention Limited Edition exclusive. So now it almost looks like seeing that Spring Convention exclusive kind of shows the proof in the pudding, so to speak, that Funko will be making their return to Emerald City Comic-Con after so long. And showing on your screen are some other examples of some amazing convention exclusives that came from Emerald City Comic-Con that includes the green gelatinous cube from Dungeons and Dragons. And I do remember hearing reports specifically from Disc Trackers that there was a possibility that Funko were making their way to Emerald City Comic-Con, MegaCon in Orlando, and WonderCon in 2026. But if you took the time to see the dates of all three of those conventions, all of them took place in the month of March, almost on a back-to-back-to-back weekend span. And then there was another post made by Disc Trackers that has the Emerald City Comic-Con logo, the date of the convention, which is March 5th to 8th, 2026 at the Seattle Convention Center, and then the description being, it looks like Funko will be attending ECCC this year. This comes from multiple sources and the sticker on the Frankie box. MegaCon was was a planned con as well, but not sure if they'll be attending since it's in the same month as Emerald City Comic-Con. WonderCon looks to be a no-go for them, which is a little weird because even in the predictions video that I had done last week, that there was a floor plan on the website that included Funko and its sister companies. Maybe the thing is that the website hadn't been updated yet for 2026, and it was the floor plan for last year's convention in 2025, which could make a lot of sense.
Shout out goes to Sentinel107 and Duh Unacceptable Viewer.
And the reason that they ended up getting a shout out is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shout out, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and short that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. And one thing to prove potentially that Funko will be going to Emerald City Comic-Con is looking on the website and seeing if they are on the list of exhibitors. So I believe if I just look through the 3 lines there, it should be under probably exhibitors and artists if I were to assume. So if I click on that, I'll let that load. And it actually looks like for the most part, I actually can't click on anything. So they haven't really announced as I'm recording this video who the exhibitors are, who is under Artist Alley. We go on the MegaCon website and it looks like it may be the exact same thing. If I go to, let's say, retailers, if anything will pop up. It says apply for a retailer, but it doesn't say, besides the pricing of booths, which holy crap, $2,000 to try and run something for a weekend. Actually, now that I see here, exhibitor directory, I can actually look in order, and it's kind of hard to see because of the yellow lettering on the white background, but zooming in closer, I am in specific order of alphabetical order. So we're looking at F right now, FR, FU, and it looks like Funko isn't even listed on here. So that confirms that MegaCon will not be a convention for Funko, because I would assume they're already listed, unless, just like I mentioned with WonderCon, that it's outdated for the website. And then when you look at the WonderCon website, of course, right at the end of March, we do have a layout here, but I can't exactly find where it was that I found the layout. Maybe it was like near the bottom somewhere. Okay, so now I found a specific exhibitor section, and this is the exact floor plan that I found on the website. And now as I see down below, it does say download the 2025 WonderCon exhibit hall map here. So this does prove, if I would have read that properly, that it was the floor plan for 2025 and not the one for 2026, which kind of proves at the moment that maybe Funko isn't going to WonderCon. Now, although in the past there were years where Funko did convention exclusives for both Emerald City Comic-Con and WonderCon, however, I do remember that happening because Emerald City Comic-Con would take place in March, while WonderCon at that point took place near the end of April, so it gave a 1-month span to release exclusives. However, last year in 2025 with Funko at Anime Expo, that convention took place at the beginning of July, while near the end was the usual San Diego Comic-Con that they have exclusives for. So maybe we are looking at a world where perhaps maybe they will be at both Emerald City Comic-Con and WonderCon, but they're like splitting the pops in half. They won't be as big as they were. And I do want to mention that you guys should check out my WonderCon exclusive predictions video, because if anything, those might apply to this current Emerald City Comic-Con, especially one of my exclusives actually being a full-on green Funko Pop that could make more sense for an Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive rather than WonderCon at this point. That WonderCon predictions video I made will be in the description below or the pinned comment, and I thought because I made that predictions video that I would make maybe a couple more predictions. The first one I'm bringing up is a WWE pop with Sheamus. Of course, if you're a WWE fan, you know Sheamus. He's from Ireland. His colors are green, and not only that, in the recent WWE leaks of pops, there was a brand new Sheamus pop on that list, which hasn't been done since the OG wave of WWE pops back in 2014. So perhaps maybe we will get one for the list that was leaked, but also a convention exclusive right in time for Emerald City Comic Con to kind of have the feel for that convention. And I think another big one that could be a possibility as an Emerald City Comic Con exclusive is Celtic Guardian from Yu-Gi-Oh! Not only is this a duel monster that people have been wanting for a long time for the set, including myself, but once again, the colors, it fits with the green theme of Emerald City Comic Con, and I think this is a pop that even casual fans will want to get even if they don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it is a character that resembles a lot to Nintendo's character Link from The Legend of Zelda, and it being very unlikely for Funko to ever pick up the license for Nintendo, that might be the closest thing you will ever get to a Link pop in your collection. That, ladies and gentlemen, is another thing reviewed by DK. Hope to see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.